Hello, this is MrChabry, and it's time to talk about the steel types that you can find within the Diamond and Pearl remakes. First off, we're going to look at the final form of the water starter, and that's going to be Empoleon. So this thing has a unique typing combination, Water Steel, and that's actually an amazing typing combination. That gives you a lot of things that you resist. This thing also has good bulk, 101 special defense, 88 defenses on the lower side, but it could take a few physical hits if you need it to. The best stat that this thing has is a 111 special attack, meaning it's going to hit things really hard. And it does have an 86 attack, which on its own is not a lot, but it does have the hidden ability Defiant, meaning if you send it out there on a Pokemon that uses Intimidate, it's going to boost up your attack. So this thing could actually run as a physical attacker if you really wanted to. It is on the slower side with a 60 speed. However, looking at all the things for Empoleon, I think this is a solid Steel-type Pokemon. Next up is the Steel type that has the word Steel in its name, and that's going to be Steelix. So this is another amazing Steel type Pokemon. It is a Steel ground type Pokemon. That gives you a lot of things that you resist, and that also gives you an offensive typing in ground that you can hit things really hard with. Its best stat is a 200 defense, meaning even super effective moves on that physical side are not really going to break through Steelix that easily. It does have a lower special defense with 65. However, if you're using this thing, you want to focus in on that defense stat. You don't really want to send it out there on special attackers. It does have an 85 attack, which is decent, and with its volley of ground type moves and even steel type moves, you can do quite a bit with this Pokemon. So I think Steelix is an amazing steel type Pokemon. It is slow though, so you'll have to keep that in mind. Next up is Bastiodon, and as we've seen so far, Steel types really have a lot of bulk. This thing has a ton of bulk. It has a 168 defense and a 138 special defense, meaning it's going to take a lot to put this thing down. It does have a lower HP stat at 60, but with its bulk, it can take quite a few hits. Typing wise, it is a rock steel type, which isn't the best typing to pair with your steel type. However, it can take a few hits pretty well. It's not very good offensively though. Only 52 attack and a 47 special attack, so if you use this thing, it's only to take hits. It's probably going to be pretty difficult to use as an in-game Pokemon since it doesn't really do that much offensively. Next up is Warbanam Steel type. This thing does have a cool typing, Bug Steel, and as you're going to see, that is a really good type combination. However, its stats are on the lower end. 95 defense and special defense is its best stats, and it means it's not really going to be taking hits that well. It could probably take a few hits from lower level Pokemon, but using it as an in-game team Pokemon is not really going to do that much, and it can't really do anything offensively either. So Warbanam is probably going to be just a challenge run Pokemon. Next up is Bronzong, and this is a Steel Psychic type, which is a cool typing. This thing also has amazing bulk to it, a 116 defense and special defense, so it's going to take hits really well. It does have an 89 attack stat, which means it could probably do a little bit there, but mostly this thing is going to be on your team to take hits, and even competitively this thing is meant to usually set up Trick Room and stuff. Abilities wise, it does have Heat Proof, which makes it resist fire type moves, or even Levitate, which makes it immune to ground type moves. So abilities wise, this thing has really cool things going for it. Being a steel psychic type is cool. I think Bronzong is an amazing steel type if you want to use it on your team. Next up is Lucario, and this is a fighting steel type, which is a cool typing. It's also the first steel type that we're going to see that's really not defensive, but it's more of an offensive Pokemon. It has a 115 special attack, which is amazing, a 110 attack, which is also amazing, and a 90 speed, meaning you're going to outspeed quite a few things. And with fighting type moves and steel type moves, you can actually do quite a bit with your Lucario. However, keep in mind, its bulk is really low, with 70 HP defense and special defense, meaning it's not going to be taking that many hits. However, Lucario is not meant to take hits, it's meant to hit back. So now we're going to look at the legendary of Pokemon Diamond, and that's going to be Dialga. This is a Steel Dragon type, which gives it a lot of things that it resists, and it is an amazing Pokemon. It's got a 150 special attack, meaning it's going to hit things really hard. It also has a 120 attack if you want to use a physical attacking Dialga. Bulk-wise, it's really good too, with 100 HP, 120 defense, and a 100 special defense, meaning it's going to take hits really well. 90 speed is not anything to sneeze at, and it can actually outspeed quite a few things. So being a legendary, it's one that you'll find in the game later on. So a lot of people don't even use legendaries on their team, but if you really want to use Dialga, it's going to mow through much of the later game. Probopass is another bulky Steel-type Pokemon. This thing has a 145 defense and a 150 special defense, which is really great. Things that hold it back, though, is it does have a rock typing as well, which isn't the best typing. However, that Steel typing still makes it a really good bulky Pokemon. It does have a 75 special attack, which isn't really going to be doing much, and it's not really an offensive presence. However, it's meant to take hits, and it can take hits pretty well, so I wouldn't say this thing would be amazing as an in-game Pokemon, but probably as a bulky Pokemon that you can send in and Volt Switch out. So looking at Magnazone, this is an electric Steel type, which is amazing, and it is really good on the special attacking side. A 130 special attack means it's going to hit things amazingly hard. It does have a 115 defense, which means it can take hits pretty well, but keep in mind this thing is really weak to ground type moves, so it's not going to be able to take those at all. Other than that, it's got decent special defense at 90, and it is pretty middle of the road speed-wise with a 60 speed. And it does surprisingly have a 70 attack, which is higher than its speed, but you're not going to be using this thing for its attack stat. Because that special attack is so wonderful, it's going to put a dent in a lot of teams. So I think Magnazone could honestly be a decent Steel type if you really wanted a special attacking Pokemon. Next up is Scizor, and this is probably one of the best Steel type Pokemon. It has a Bug Steel typing, which normally Bug holds a Pokemon back, but with Steel typing, it actually makes it a good combination. The thing is, you gotta keep an eye out for Fire types because Scizor does not want to take Fire type moves. It has a 130 attack, which is phenomenal. It's going to hit things really hard. It does have a 100 defense, which means it can take hits pretty well on that side too. And it has an 80 special defense, which isn't the best. 65 speed is not the best either, but this thing also knows the move Bullet Punch, which most people put on their Scizor, which will be going first if you use it in battle. So with that 130 attack, I think Scizor is one of the best Steel types if you want to use it on your team. Last up is Heatran, and technically this thing wasn't a part of the Sinnoh Dex, but it is a Gen 4 Pokemon, so I feel like I need to talk about it. This thing is an amazing Steel type Pokemon with a 130 special attack. It's got good bulk at 106 defense and 106 special defense with a 91 HP, so that means it can take hits pretty well. It has a 77 speed, which is actually surprisingly fast for a Pokemon mostly known for being a bulky tank. But it's not going to outspeed that many things. It can do some surprising outspeeding of certain things, though. 90 attack isn't really something to worry about because you're not going to use this thing for its attack stat. That 130 special attack is way too important to pass up. It is a Fire Steel type Pokemon, which gives you quite a bit to play around with. You gotta watch out for ground type Pokemon though, because that will hit this thing really hard. And since it is a Pokemon that's not technically in the Sinnoh Dex, it's probably going to be like a post-game Pokemon, so most people will probably be using this thing in competitive battle. So that's all the Steel type within the Diamond Pearl remakes. Which one are you going to use, if any? Steel types are really cool because most of them have quite a bit of bulk, and a few of them can do some stuff offensively. However, most of the time if you see a Steel type Pokemon, someone's using it for its bulkiness. Anyway, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you in the next Pokemon video.